I hate getting in not need to put that there. All right. I hate getting into awkward situations with people, especially just in everyday situations, like when you're, like for guys, when it's shopping for condoms, okay? Who here has felt awkward shopping for condoms? Woo! Yeah. Like, you always have to grab like a couple different items, you know, to go up. She's laughing like I don't ever get laid. Thank you. But you always have to grab a couple different items, and then once you go up to the clerk, you know, he or she's like checking them in, they get to the condoms, and they're just like, "Dude, well, it looks like you're in for a fun night tonight, huh?" It's always their response. So I like to respond with, "Funny you should mention that about the condoms, because when I'm shopping for them, I like to treat it like I'm shopping for the potato chips. If I know I'm going to be buying them, I like to open them up and try them out while I shop." By the way, clean up in aisle 8 and 5. Definitely get 5. That was the magazine aisle. But it's the worst when you're at work and people just try to give you stupid, shitty jokes. I'm pretty sure it's different for everybody, but I work in a tire shop, and people come up to me and they ask me if my tire's in stock. And I'll look at them and I'll go, "Oh yeah, looks like we got plenty of them available. Looks like we got about, 30. And this is where their shitty joke begins. They go, "Really? You only got 30? Well, I only need 4 of them." I'm like, "Oh my God, lady, I swear to God, if you have one of those keychains with the mace attachment on it, I'm just going to start unloading on you the second you hand them to me." Seriously. And another one is when you tell them to come back to do a lung inspection, and they go, "Really? You want to check my nuts?" As much as I appreciate sexual innuendo, I will physically remove them from you so that you can never make that joke again, sir. But the worst instance of this was when a guy called me on the phone for 10 minutes, was just making all these terrible, shitty jokes, just trying to find out, if I had a tire, and he's just doing all these jokes, and they're just not landing. All of a sudden, I just hear this thud, and just dead silence for 3 minutes. I don't know why I stayed on the line for 3 minutes. Maybe I was hoping that, the murderer would pick up the phone and just be like, "I got him." Be like, "Thank you." Because you gotta be, polite. But this is the most ironic thing though. After he did all this and just dead silence for 3 minutes, I hear this rustling. He picks up the phone and he goes, "I'm sorry, I just got into a car accident." And my response immediately was, "Really? Well, looks like tires are the least of your concerns now, huh? You see, I can make shitty jokes too. This entire joke was shitty. We all win today." There's certain PSAs that are going around now that I hate. The ones about high school, 1 in 6 kids drops out of high school, I don't disagree with those PSAs. I think you should get an education, you idiot. But, they got celebrities on these ads, and they're the 2 worst celebrities you could pick. You got Mark Wahlberg and LeBron James. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Mark Wahlberg dropped out of high school, spent time in juvie for hate crimes against blacks and Asians. You picked him. The entire ad, it's just kids walking behind him and be like, "Hey, I'm Mark and Mark. 1 in 6 kids does a graduate. What the fuck you guys doing following me? Get the fuck to class. Learn the book reading shit." If you guys did not like that Mark Wahlberg impression, you'll absolutely hate my impression of his ads. But then LeBron, don't even get me started. I wish Nike paid my teachers to give me passing grades. That would have been awesome. I was driving in Wisconsin, and another ad, I saw a big billboard for abortion, and it's just an adult hand holding a baby's hand, and it said, "Take my hand, not my life." I thought that would be adorable. I've seen a bunch of babies with hook hands. Halloween. That would make picking out a costume for Halloween so much easier for your kid. But Daddy, I want to be an astronaut this year. I'm sorry, Susan, but you need 2 hands to go to outer space. That's why your brother's the astronaut every year, because he was planned. Dad and boys are more likely to be astronauts, kiddo. That is the worst dad I can imagine, by the way. There's another ad for Ancestry.com, and it starts out with a black guy, and it goes, being an African American, I kind of knew where my family tree was going. Yeah, directly into a plantation owner's yard. Come on, man. Let's not beat around that cotton bush. You did it for too long. But it did end on a sad note and on a good note, where he goes, I went on to Ancestry.com, and I found out my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather is actually Thomas Jefferson. Former president, can you believe it? Yeah, he had a thing for slaves. You can't get that one. But a little history lesson for you all. I have friends that like to brag about running the marathon, and I hate it. They're just talking about running 20 miles in a day. And I think if they knew the history of the marathon, they would stop bragging about it. Here is the history of the marathon for those of you who don't know. The marathon began when the Greeks defeated the Persians, had to relay a message back to Greece. So they had this guy, Phidippides, run all the way back to Greece, 26.2 miles, and for some reason did it completely butt-ass naked. To this day, it's still the longest streaking endeavor ever. I would know, I've tried to beat it, but there's cops and people walking dogs. But he gets to Greece, and he's trying to relay this message, and he just gets there and goes, victory. Collapsed and died just like that. And if a guy just says one word and dies, like, and you're the emperor, you're gonna be like, what the fuck was that shit? Who was that guy? Seriously. But no, he looked at this guy and he just thought, he just saved Greece. You know what? We should keep running this thing. It's obviously good for you if his heart exploded. Let us honor the memory of this man by running it every single year. And I have a friend that still comes up to me and goes, yeah, I ran a marathon in under 6 hours. I'm like, yeah, you know, that's great. Ran that time back in the day, Greece would have burned to the ground. Guess the Kenyans are the only ones that understand how dire the situation is, huh? I'm glad that they don't run it naked, because halfway through the marathon, you're still watching, you're just going to see a group of naked black men run by, and you're not going to think, oh, they must be honoring the memory of Phidippides. No, you're going to think that there's a bad batch of crack out in the streets, you racist. All right, that's my time. Thank you very much.